Okay, welcome back everyone. Another Business Boost video. I'm Josh Weber with Big Red Jelly, where we help brand, build, and grow businesses by combining human creativity with powerful digital tools, practices, or processes. So, quick video today, but it's something that we are in the middle of doing. You can kind of see it behind me here on this Miro board, which we use for collaboration. So it's not going to look super pretty, but I think it is very important. And the subject is this. How do you position yourself as a small business or any business as an industry thought leader? How do you get more traction with your content? How do you attract your ideal customers more than you are now? How do you get better conversion rates? And all of this can be accomplished much more successfully when you have more niche content, more niche branding, more niche positioning within your industry. That term gets thrown around a lot, right? Be niche or niche down, or you need to niche or niche, depending on how you pronounce that. And a lot of people throw out the term industry thought leader, right? But I think there are some very practical ways to apply this, because even though we hear those terms being thrown out a lot, being thrown around everywhere, very few businesses that we interact with actually do a good job of taking that leap and niching down, and more importantly, next step, offering, sharing niche content, right? So what we see a lot of when we're working with branding, or we're doing our brand services with companies or build services, when we're designing or developing a website, or we're taking them through our branding process, we still see a lot of companies that say, yeah, this is my niche, yet their content, their copy, their imagery all still screams vague, broad, etc. Right? So this is something that we're actually doing right now at Big Red Jelly for ourselves, as well as our clients. So I'm going to take you through kind of a model that we are following, and we have seen pretty good success so far. So in terms of content, I'm showing you for Big Red Jelly. One of the first things that I invite companies to do is to consider, well, first, I'm assuming that you've niched down, right? So for example, if you are a financial service advisor, instead of just saying I'm a financial services advisor and my UVPs are honesty, integrity, transparency, let's get more specific. Who do you serve specifically? Are you for millennials in crypto? Do you lean toward families, young families in this geographic area? Do you lean more toward people who have successfully exited businesses? Do you lean toward entrepreneurs and solopreneurs? Do you lean toward recent college grads? Do you lean toward, right? So you can think of these niches or demographics either in terms of your target audience, who you want to target that way, or your services, right? Maybe I'm a financial services advisor, but I really specialize in crypto, or I really specialize in small business owners and small business financial planning, right? Or entrepreneurs or solopreneurs. So you can niche down in many different ways, but that's a whole separate conversation. Once you have niche down, I'm assuming that you have, it's time to start niching down your content, right? Otherwise, your content's going to get lost in the sauce. It's not going to rank very high from an SEO perspective. You're going to get low conversion rates. You're just not going to get found because a million other people are sharing the same stuff. So a lot of companies we see have successfully niched down, but their content doesn't show that. So one thing that I like to encourage people to do is come up with what I consider cornerstone content ideas. This is research-driven, original content. This could be a white paper. This can be a more lengthy video. This can be a much more lengthy blog or article that is sharing some original data or information that you have come up with. For example, at Big Red Jelly, we do branding and building online so that companies can grow. So we do a lot of these steps before a company starts to market or advertise or put significant budget there. So we want to really focus our cornerstone content ideas on branding and building, and specifically within building within certain platforms, WordPress, Wix, and Shopify. So see how niche that is. Now, instead of just shooting from the hip, our marketing team now every 6 months is tasked with creating this cornerstone piece of content. For example, it could be the state of web design in WordPress going into 2023. It could be fundamental truths of small business branding going into 2023, right? It's big, it's research driven, it's original content, and if done correctly, you can take that cornerstone piece of content, you can slice and dice it into 30, 40, 50 pieces of small content. For example, you can take a snippet out as a tweet. You can take a portion out for a blog article. You can reference it in several social media posts. You could call back to it from other blog articles. You could share it with publications, with partners. You could do a whole podcast episode on it. You could do a whole video on it, walking through the piece. So cornerstone content kind of is a reminder for you, and it forces you in a way to share original, research-based, industry thought leader type content that you can then slice or dice so that you can be efficient and make it look like you're sharing a whole bunch of original pieces of content all the time, right? So this does take time, it takes research, it takes work, but it is effective. So as you can see here, it then gives us some strategies for much more niche content. Before at Big Red Jelly, we were sharing a lot of content just about digital marketing, right? SEO, online advertising. We don't do those things. We help companies get to that point. We don't do those things. We know what we're best at right now. So now let's look at some of the more niche content pieces that we might pull from our cornerstone content piece, or that we're just going to create as the year goes forward. So for example, 3 fundamentals for good logo design. By the way, companies or readers like listicles, right? 5 best places to visit in 2022, right? 3 of your favorite crepe recipes, right? So people like listicles because we know kind of the length, and we like, top 5 movies of 2021. There's a reason, there's a psychological reason. I don't know exactly why, but we like listicles, right? List articles. Why is brand messaging important for business growth? Brand research, why you should never skip this phase. Homepage copywriting tips that will increase your sales. 5 elements your brand style guide must have. Typography, how your font can make or break your web design. See how specific they are, and some of them they have time elements, they're listicles, they're captivating questions. These were just ideas that I had that I shared with our marketing team. But the point is simple. Once you've niched down, it is imperative that your content also becomes niche as well. These are topics and strategies that we share all the time when we take a client through our branding phase, through our build phase. When we're branding or building something for a company, it needs to be specific, it needs to be niche, it needs to be attractive to the ideal customer. Otherwise, you come across as too vague and you're not going to have the results that you're looking for. So I do promise you that you will start to see much better results in sales, marketing, conversion rates, PR, etc. once you niche down and then you start to offer niche content. Look at some of these other examples, especially in the build, we get very niche here, right? Which CMS is right for you? It stands for a content management system or website platform. If you're a small business owner, Wix, Shopify, and WordPress compare. That could be more visual, maybe matrix visual that we put together in a blog and then reshare that on Instagram. Wix, far more than just a web design platform. Our top 5 online tools to connect you to your website to increase sales. Top 3 free WordPress plugins. So you can keep going. Once you have this cornerstone kind of content idea in place, you can start to come up with much more specific niche content pieces to start sharing throughout your social media platforms or just content sharing platforms, while also being efficient and productive and getting real results. So hopefully this was helpful. Again, have you seen good results by niching down? Do you struggle to niche down? If so, let's have a chat. I can tell you about our backstory at Big Red Jelly, where we waited so long, I was so hesitant. I was scared about niching down. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose so much business. No, the opposite is true. So if you want to chat about that, feel free to reach out to me, but tune in next week for another video. Thank you.